Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Pros Who Know webinar series. My name is Sandra Vidrio, Business Development Officer for the Fresno Area Hispanic Foundation. On behalf of our team, I would like to say thank you for joining us today. This webinar will focus on the importance of having the right insurance policy coverage to protect your business. Our speaker for this presentation is Kay Forjotti, owner of Forjotti Insurance Agency. Before we get started, I would like to share with you a quick tutorial on using the Zoom chat box feature. If you're accessing the webinar through a laptop or tablet, you can locate this tool by selecting the chat icon. If using a mobile device, please tap on the More option of your screen, and then you'll see the chat feature. During the presentation, please submit your questions through this tool. We will monitor and address your comments during the Q&A session. As you can see on the screen, this is our agenda for today. I will be sharing brief information about the programs and services provided by the Foundation. We will then transition to our guest speaker for her presentation and, as mentioned, followed by the Q&A session. The Fresno Area Hispanic Foundation is a nonprofit organization with the mission to promote education and self-sufficiency. Our three core services include our Technical Assistance Program, Microloan Program, and our Downtown Business Hub. Our bilingual incubator is located in downtown Fresno and is equipped to offer office space for startup and existing businesses, in addition to conference and training facilities. We assist individuals that are looking to start a business or expand their business by providing them with the tools, educational training, and resources for business growth. Our team is staying informed and up to date on all of the resources available to you as a business owner and provide you with valuable information. As you can see on the screen, please feel free to reach out for assistance by connecting via phone, email, or sending us a message through our social media platforms. And you can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and also LinkedIn by using the social media handle Fresno AHF. I would now like to introduce you to our speaker from Forjotti Insurance Agency. Good morning, Kay. How are you?
Good morning. Thank you for having me. Yes. I'm doing great. Thank you for asking.
Yes, and thank you for collaborating to provide this presentation to our small business community. Before we get started, as a reminder, we will have a Q&A session with Kay after the presentation. With that being said, thank you, Kay.
All right, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here and be able to share some information that would hopefully be beneficial to you along the way. And I wanted to first off start by explaining a little bit about myself, about my background, so that you are more familiar with who's speaking with you. I am a Farmers Insurance Agency owner, and I've been there for about a year and a half. Before that, I have had my licenses, which are insurance licenses and financial services licenses, for over 15 years. I was a trainer and was in a position of training agents and overcoming objections and describing products to the clients. It's a pleasure to be an agent. I really enjoy going over policies and educating and being able to answer questions and concerns our clients have. And I feel that knowledge is power. So I invite all of you who have questions that you can ask today. But if you would like a one-on-one opportunity at no cost to you, I'm more than happy to set a time with you and go over what you currently have or what might be suitable coverages for you as far as insurance information goes. I know each business owner is unique in a sense and has different questions and concerns. So again, you'll get the information about my office, and you're welcome to call and or email me. And we will have a one-on-one opportunity for us to review your coverages. So as the slide shows, That's me. I won one of the many awards that we could win along the way. This particular one is about life insurance. I have a high expectation of myself and my staff to make sure we protect the families that we insure. So this one particularly was for the number of policies sold and number of families we have protected. The picture on the right is my team. We all speak Spanish as well as English, and we are licensed and available to answer your questions and concerns when you call our office. We also do a review of current policies our clients have, so that they continue to make sure that they have adequate coverage. Today, we can go to the next slide. Do I click? Okay, so today I'm going to focus on what's called a business owner policy. And the business owner is someone, of course, who could have started their business recently, or someone who has had plenty of experience and has been in business for a long period of time. This business owner policy, the acronym is BOP. We affectionately call it the BOP coverage, and it could include things such as liability coverage. As a business owner, the primary concern is, God forbid, if somebody's hurt and wants to sue you for your liability. So you want to make sure that you have adequate protection ahead of time, such that you can settle the claim and not worry about, God forbid, going out of business as a result of a lawsuit. Liability coverage examples are when a client can slip and fall on your premises, or is hurt by your product, or these take different shapes and forms depending on the type of business you have, of course. Then there are things like office furniture that are also included in the BOP packages. These things like electronics, we all use a lot of electronics in our offices, computers, phones, and printers and such, and office furniture, meaning the desks and chairs and decorations and so forth. All of those things can be insured in case there is a fire, theft, or other damage to those furniture, and then you need to possibly replace them. That coverage is essential when you lose all of your furniture at one shot. It can be quite expensive. Other coverages to consider that are frequently included in a BOP policy are signage. Signs are expensive because some of them are lit, and having that feature causes more expense initially. So you want to have coverage in case it breaks, or it falls, or it hurts someone. You want to make sure that you're adequately protected. If there's glass, meaning, in your storefront, if somebody breaks your glass, those are often expensive to replace as well. So there are coverages for such things. Another important coverage that goes along with the BOP policy, or could go along with the BOP policy, is the loss of income. So as an example, if you are a business owner and the store it catches fire, let's say, or something happens so that you cannot be in business for a period of time, it's going to be at least 3 days or more that you're going to be unable to get back to your regular production. So the coverage offers you money for the income you are not making while that catastrophe or that incident happened, and helps you get back on your feet. It becomes very, very important, especially when unpredictable things happen. As an example, if you're a restaurant owner and there's power outage, then what happens is like let's say the freezer gets warm and you lose all your food spoiled. You know, you can't sell that product, so therefore you have a claim for loss of income. Here are some examples of the kind of businesses we could consider. One of them is certified public accountant. For example, what he would need is a service business. So an accountant, a CPA won't have any products per se to sell, but they do need coverage for their office furniture and what they're leasing or where their signage is, etc. Bakery owner is a different example because, again, there's food involved, so there's opportunity for food getting spoiled, or the bakery goods are made in an oven. There's shelves, there's a different kind of equipment that's used, and that is important to the bakery owner in case those equipments are stolen or they're lost in a fire. Also, the other thing is flower shops. And flower shop is another example of products that could perish. So they have a shorter shelf life, so we want to make sure that the amount of coverage adequately protects the owner against loss in case of a claim. Another type of insurance that is offered to business owners when applicable is called commercial auto. So an example here is the mobile delivery services that are done with delivery vehicles. So you usually have logos on and you see them driving around town. The auto coverage, the commercial auto protects the vehicle, and if there is a need to have equipment on there, we do consider what is being transported and what form of transportation. An example would be a food truck, you know, where they cook food on inside the truck, and there is different kind of liability and equipment that is considered when offering protection for that kind of risk. And furniture store, like at times like this when stores are closed, the furniture isn't going to go bad, luckily, so that doesn't perish. But there are larger square footage usually necessary for galleries to show equipment, the furniture, I'm sorry, and then there is a higher liability because there's more surface for clients to walk around and slip and fall or have claims. So all of these things are considered based on the type of policy you have and the type of business you have. And then there's a discussion about the coverage amounts. You know, how much coverage would be adequate for for your specific business need. So I invite you to ask questions or reach out to me one-on-one for a review afterwards. That would be a welcome opportunity for both of us. So do you have any employees? That is the next topic we're talking about. The employees will bring a different type of need for your insurance, for your business. For example, as soon as you have an employee, workers' compensation coverage becomes an important topic to cover with you, and I wanted to make sure that I won't get into details, but we can absolutely talk about one-on-one how much coverage you need, and how workers' compensation premium is calculated, and that's directly related to your payroll amount. So this is just a little tidbit of information, but we can absolutely give you a quote to know what kind of budget you want to have and prepare for as you plan on bringing on employees. Another important coverage is called Employment Practice EPLI, liability insurance. We affectionately have a lot of acronyms in the insurance industry, but this particular EPLI coverage is for claims made by employees that alleging discrimination or harassment or wrongful termination, etc., towards the employer. So as an employer, you want to make sure that you do consider the need for the EPLI coverage, and possibly, I mean, you can choose not to have the EPLI, but the benefits outweigh the risk. I strongly recommend you being knowledgeable and get the information about it. Of course, for those of you who have been in business, and if you are you know, in need of additional information, you can also reach out to me or ask your questions through the chat. Okay, so we're still on the topic of employees. So the other thing that comes along with having employees is possibly offering employee benefits. You may want to stay competitive and not lose your employees to a competitor. So you may want to consider giving some sort of benefit for them, be it health insurance, retirement plans. You know, you can assist the employees so they can have an option to spend some of their paycheck in a form of a savings for their long time for retirement. For example, another example is life insurance. You can absolutely offer group life insurance for them as a team, but there is a minimum number of employees required in that particular example. But we can talk about those details, and disability also. Disability insurance is another kind of benefit that you could consider for your employees. And you as the owner could also participate in these group plans. Or if you have no more than one employee, you can participate in offering benefits and have the employee cover the share, you know, some share of the premium. So it's not only your responsibility. You can make this joint participation. You can make it where it's half and half, or however you set it up. There is some flexibility in each of these coverages that you can consider and discuss. Okay, so I'm now going to talk about some of the things as business owners that you should consider that relate to insurance or planning. Mostly. Every time I have a new client that's a business owner, I take the time to review and find out what their exit strategy is, meaning the long-term plan. Because sometimes some businesses are thinking about passing the business eventually to their family members or their loved ones. So in that case, there are things you could be considering now, well ahead of schedule, if you will, to better prepare the person that will be taking over your business, and give them opportunity to not only learn the business, but also have capital to purchase it from you, or have plans to be able to generate income themselves right away from the experience of learning from you. And then with that comes the importance of having adequate insurance coverage for that person that will be taken over. So just something to think about. If you haven't had a plan or haven't written one out yet, please take the time to do that. I highly recommend it. That'll help you better prepare for the long run. Are you currently taking advantage of any of the retirement plans that are available for you as a business owner? There are particular plans that you can start using to save for your retirement, and it could be related to your income, and you know, we can talk examples, or we can absolutely meet one-on-one, so you can if you have one, we can review what you have to make sure if you're maximizing or if it's the right kind of plan for you. Those are always good policy to review and make sure you're on the right track and getting close to your goals. One other important factor that you may not know is key employee insurance. If your business doesn't run without you, you are the key employee. If you are, for example, a French restaurant and your chef is French, then if God forbid something happens to the chef, then your business may or may not be able to continue being in business if the chef doesn't show up one day. So there are insurance plans that help your business continue until you find the replacement for that French chef, which is often not found overnight. So we want to make sure that your income is supplemented while you are getting back on your feet and finding the right key employee to replace the one you lost. So I'd like to invite you to think about the structure you have and your team members, and if you have any questions or particular examples you would like to discuss, I'm happy to offer my consultation free of charge. So excellent. So as a business owner, there are benefits in how you hold your business. So if you're a sole proprietor versus if you have a partnership with someone or more than one partner, there are limited liability corporations, there are partnerships that form with specific agreements, different percentage of ownerships, silent partners. All those things are a variety of situations that all business owners can find themselves in. If you'd like, or if you're a nonprofit, there's specific benefits associated with that. So S Corp and C Corp are also treated differently via tax, and an accountant would be far more versed at the differences, but the whole point of this slide is to consider how you are currently holding ownership of your business, and if in case of a partnership or when there's more than one person decision maker and owner, there are things that you should consider, such as, for example, if you lose your partner unexpectedly, do you have a plan in place to protect his or her interest, and more like protect your interest in the business, because oftentimes in case of partnerships, you may find yourself working with your partner's children or spouse, and they may not have enough experience in the business, and they are very much involved in the decision-making process. There are things you can do ahead of time while everybody is all in well, feeling well, and you can have a plan in place so that you're not surprised if something unforeseen happens to your partner, and your business can continue without having the frustration of teaching someone or fighting about how the business should be ran. So food for thought. Anyway, if you'd like to have some questions about that or more discussion, I'm happy to meet with you one-on-one. So what would you consider during the COVID-19? I know we find ourselves in a very, very different experience. For me, this is kind of unexpected, and we've had to all arrange our lives around what is impacting all of us, not only our families, but also our businesses. So during COVID-19, I just want to bring it to your attention. If you haven't looked into some of the programs that are offered for you to take advantage of grants and loans, and there's opportunities for paychecks program. There's plenty of information available. If you haven't taken advantage of looking into some of those options, please do so, because there is the time constraint. There is urgency in how quickly you can apply for these funds, and it's basically first come, first serve from what I'm hearing, and I don't want you to miss out on any help that might be available to you as a business owner. So you should prepare your documentation as quickly as possible and apply online. Then the next step to do is if you've done it already, if you have applied for one of the programs out there, it's imperative that you take the time to review, the status, or call in and find out about the status. I know there are very, very long hold times, but it would help if you are get a hold of the person reviewing your application to expedite the funding process for you. And they usually, from what I hear, is they go for the application that was filled the best and it's ready to be funded. So those will get first bids. So you want to be considered first in line if at all possible. So I know actually I personally attended the webinar previous to mine, and it was a very detailed webinar about what programs are available, how to apply, etc. So anyways, on to the next. Okay, so another thing, the next slide goes over some things you can do personally for your family. For example, there are mortgage companies that are waiving you late fees or delayed payment fees and so forth, and they're allowing you time to, postpone your payment for a month or two, or expand it, or make arrangements to not have to come up with those large chunks all at once. So I encourage you, if you haven't called the mortgage companies, please do so and make those arrangements. Same thing with insurances. Here at Farmers Insurance, we are giving 25% off of all premiums for auto insurance, and now the company is considering a certain percentage for home insurance as well, because just to give our clients a break. And I think this it has been approved for the month of April, and that break will be coming for sure. And depending on how long the situation lasts, it may even apply for the payments due in the month of May. It's across the board for those who have been insured with us by a specific date. There's certain criteria. However, similar situations, breaks are given to by other insurance companies as well. So if you're insured, you may want to call your company and see if there's any waivers or anything that is offered. I know that with farmers, business owners policies, payments are also can be delayed if you call and make arrangements for your business policies as well. Many of our insureds are impacted by the current situation, and having that break really helps ease the mind when we're all stressed out about the future and the uncertainty. So another area is credit cards and other payments. You may want to call your banker and find out if the banks have any leeway or any ways to waive late fees and so forth, so that you don't stress out, the family having to come up with your regular payments when money isn't flowing, the cash flow isn't there in many cases, okay? So with that, we are getting to the Q&A session here. I'm happy to, again, answer any questions that you have. You can use the chat feature.
Yeah, that is correct. Thank you, Kay, for sharing with us this great information on the importance of having the right insurance coverage to protect employees and businesses. As Kay mentioned, please, we're open to questions.
If you have any, yes, we'll look at you can use the chat feature. If you want to type it in, you're welcome to. On the screen, you'll see my phone number and my email address in case you would like to have that one-on-one, and I'm happy to go over the coverages you have, make sure you understand what your coverage covers and what your present insurance is like, and we can absolutely make a recommendation or give you quotes in case you have questions about any of what you have in place. Oh, there's a question. Any information on food products? Okay, so yeah, in my example, I did use the restaurant owner as an example. So if a restaurant owner has coverage, and if their coverage does include food spoilage, then they can call the company and make a claim. Claim adjuster, of course, reviews the claim one-on-one and goes and sees the business owner and then determines the value of the loss, and the company oftentimes makes the check right away because they know that it's imperative for the business owner to have be able to get back to business and not lose any more income. Then there's yes, there's no more questions. Oh, there is some. Larry, what type of products do you recommend to help owners as well as employees as far as insurance and retirement? Okay, so there are different options depending on your age and your risk tolerance. So there are products called Simple IRA, individual IRAs, there are SEP IRAs, there are 401ks, individual 401ks. These are just the names of some of the products that are offered, but most importantly, it's based on how much time you have before retiring, and then how many employees you have, and some of the products, some of the retirement products are specifically for those employers who have employees, and some of them are just geared for the individual owner. So that's the extent of what I can, high level, I can explain right now. For individual, cases, I, again, invite you to call me, and I'm happy to spend some time and go over your specific needs, or if you have a product in place that you want to know more about, I'm happy to review those with you. I hope that answered your question. All right. Well, sounds like it's quiet out there. I either did such a great job explaining everything, or or that there are no questions at this point. Okay. Well, that concludes my session.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and so as you can see on the screen, you can contact Kay at the office or via email, very accessible. So if you have any other questions, and I know she also mentioned in the presentation that she business owner policy review, right? So 101 reviews.
Yes.
Perfect. Well, with that, we will, I want to take a few minutes to share a little bit more about our upcoming webinars. Our team, as mentioned, we've been keeping up to date with everything that's happening in our small business community. And so all of what used to be our in-person workshops, we've now transitioned to the online virtual platform. So to keep up to date with all of our upcoming events, please let us know if you're not already added to receive our regular email blast. You can also always check out our website at fresnoahs.org/events. And tomorrow at 1 p.m. we will be hosting our monthly legal topic workshop in partnership with the team at Berkeley Law from the New Business Community Law Clinic. And they'll be doing an overview of the CARES Act and specifically sharing new and updated information as to how businesses can protect themselves, and as well as talking. I know there's been some information shared about at the state level, so they'll be covering state level and national guidelines that are currently in effect for the businesses, especially those non-essential businesses. And on the 20th of April, we will be hosting a Spanish webinar in partnership with our Fresno District Small Business Administration Office, and Victor Vibriesca will be our host guest speaker. And this one is targeted to, once again, those small businesses that might still have questions on how to access this program, as well as other SBA loan programs like EIDL. Once again, for these workshops, you can go ahead and sign up by visiting our website. Once again, I want to say thank you to everyone for joining us, and thank you, Kay, for the presentation. As previously mentioned, please feel free to reach out for any questions or further assistance. We hope to have you join us for our future webinars that will continue to be hosted through the Zoom platform. If you have, we'll be on the line in case anybody has any more questions. Once again, thank you for your time. I hope you all have a great day.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure being with you today.
And really quickly, this recording will be uploaded to our YouTube account. So that's another way. If you miss any of our Zoom accounts, you will be able to access our meetings through there.